Hello, welcome to Family We've Got Your Back. Today we're kind of celebrating our nephew's engagement with an episode for him and his fiancée. And hopefully it'll help them have a strong beginning to their relationship, if they even listen. They may not.
But it's still valid for people that have been together or will be together or just for whatever relationship that you may be in.
Exactly. So it's kind of things to wonder and find out about, things to ask, maybe discover. So that's our word for the week is discover, and we'll define that in a second. For anyone who is looking to build a strong relationship. And it's forewarned is forearmed. What's this? Anyway, we don't know the expression. Be prepared. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Just be prepared so that you can be aware of what you are getting into so that you can be in love with your heart and your head. Because when you only are in love with your heart and you ignore all the things in your head that are warning signs or whatever, you kind of get yourself into trouble and it doesn't create a strong basis for a relationship. So we recommend using those powerful brains of yours as well as your beautiful hearts. And so discover actually means to find unexpectedly. I didn't know that. That was a fun one to discover. It also means, I'm sorry, I'm kind of a doofus today. Or in the course of a search. So to find in the course of a search or find unexpectedly. Another one is to become aware of a fact or a situation. Do you want to do the next one?
Yep. To perceive the attractions of an activity or subject for the first time.
And I would, so it's like...
Yeah, just discovery.
So, the process of discovery, you are finding reasons to be attracted to this person. So, yay. It's not just all look for the bad things. It's look for the good, too. Another one is recognize the potential of. So, again... if you are finding and discovering these things about somebody, you are seeing potential, and a path forward, I guess. And also to discover means to display a quality or feeling. So that one I didn't know either. So so this is a good word for this week of discovering more on the adventure that you're taking together.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, and it really is a discovery. We hope that everybody with their relationships can discover these things and not by accident, right?
Yes.
Because when you discover something by accident, then it's like, oh, what just happened?
Yeah.
All of a sudden it rocks your world in a way that you hadn't expected, so that's why it's important to have this before.
Yeah. It could be a roadblock that actually creates a breakup instead of something if you discuss ahead of time, you can prepare for it and plan for it and you were aware of it and you can deal with it appropriately and it'll create a situation where you come together instead of you're pulled apart. Right. And so that's the basis of what we're doing today. And I'm sorry, I still have my cough.
While she's coughing. And once again, these are things you'll love. Is a fantastic, wonderful thing, and differences make your lives wonderful. And you can learn to love and grow together through accident or purposely. So our hope is today that you'll have purpose behind it, and so that you can love each other and grow together despite the differences that exist naturally. Or because of, yeah.
So that they don't become a stumbling block that actually harms your relationship. Because Trent and I were woefully unprepared, thinking we knew everything. And on our in the car today, we were talking about one. Sorry, it's funny. So
and not funny at the same time.
And not really. It was really not funny at the time. He did not tell me before I discovered, unexpectedly, that he had a medical condition that he needed medication for, which meant insurance. And when I found out, his parents helped us figure out the situation, and it was great. And yeah, but I kind of felt at the time that I should have known about a medical condition that affected my life in a major way. And when I brought that up, he said, I did? That was rather irresponsible of me.
It was. It was irresponsible of me. Because to me, I mean, I lived with this situation for a decade, and it hadn't...
It didn't even occur to him that it was something I should know.
It didn't impact me in a big way. I just, took my meds and everything was hunky-dory.
Yeah,
but
it didn't occur to him that I would probably
so to
like
me, it was
know the genetic possibilities for our children.
Right.
Anyway, it wasn't a deal breaker for us because, not much is a deal breaker for us.
No.
Because we decide to work and improve and have things that are hard help us grow together.
Right.
So yeah, we've done a lot of growing up since then, and the hard that happened for us made us better people. So we're not saying that your life is going to be easy and perfect if you
have these conversations.
Yeah, no, it's not. Life is hard. Life is unfair, and it can either make you stronger or it can break you. And we're choosing to let it make us stronger.
Yep.
So anyway, so the first one we thought about was trust. We asked a whole bunch of people about would you like to know? What are things that you think you should know about somebody? And the funniest response was, how many secret marriages have they had? If they have secret marriages, they're probably not going to tell you anything about them. And so, and I really thought it was funny, but it actually happens. People do hide past relationships, and not just past marriages, but past relationships. And they hide them because when they're ashamed, or they're still currently married, and they're cheating on that spouse. And there's just a huge deal with that. And so I didn't realize how big it was because, we've been married so long, and I didn't realize it was a thing in the dating world today that
check out Dayline.
So, yeah. So, the way to discover if somebody's secretly married is, do you feel lied to? Do you feel like you can trust them? Have you caught them in a lie? Are you able to see that they are truthful in their communication with you? If not, then maybe you should think about why you do not trust them, or even if it's only in certain situations. Are they a liar? Have you caught them in is that a deal breaker for you? And we're not necessarily talking about deal breakers today, because that's not the point of this. It's more
how can I help my partner grow?
Yes.
And how can we recognize the differences and go forward,
right,
with optimism and grow together in that fashion.
Yeah, and it's really difficult if you are a liar to build a strong relationship. And so we recommend, if you are in a dating relationship or wanting to date someone or wanting to work towards marriage with someone, that you be honest. So yeah, and if you discover that they're not honest, then, and if that's not a big deal to you because you're not an honest person either, then hey. But if trust is something that's important to you, then, so yeah, for us, that's kind of,
it's a big deal.
It's a big deal for us. And it's kind of a red flag. And a red flag is like almost a, I wouldn't say subliminal, but unconscious feeling or gut reaction or something that you should sit up and pay attention to, and don't ignore red flags. There's so many people who get into relationships that are horrible because they ignored their instincts. And so just be careful. Some of the red flags are overly controlling behavior, overly jealous. I mean, because if Trent hung out with nothing but ladies, I would be quite jealous. I would not appreciate that. I would never say you can't do that, but it would be more of, you know what, that makes me uncomfortable, and I would really appreciate if you wouldn't be alone with women.
Yeah.
Without me. Like, I would appreciate you being respectful of the fidelity we have in our relationship, and that we owe each other because we are married. So that's one red flag. Another one is communication. Like, do you feel communicated with? Are you always misunderstanding each other? Do you feel listened to? Does the other feel listened to? Do you feel like they don't tell you what they should? Anyway, and so it's not that you should break up because they're a poor communicator, because when we first got married, we were pretty poor communicators.
Yep.
It was, and we figured it out, and we
found
a way that worked.
To some degree.
It found a way that works better for us.
Yeah.
And so, if that's something you need to work on it. If you like this person and you want to stay together, work on it. Because nobody's perfect.
Right. Yeah, and communication is interesting too, because you can fill you can have a conversation and not communicate anything.
True.
And make sure you have your communication needs to be of substance.
Yeah.
So that so you're actually learning something about the person that you're communicating with. Yeah,
and these aren't like things that you should like come out and ask them. It's just pay attention in your relationship. Pay attention. Another thing you should discover about them is their goals, their life plan, their philosophies about their future, what they want. Are you on the same path? Because if you're on different paths, it's really difficult to grow together as a couple.
When we were dating, I was going to be in electronics, and that was fine. But it didn't work out.
No,
that way.
It's not what he is now.
So it's like life is going to give you different curveballs.
Yes, life changes.
But we knew that we were both learners, and so eventually things were going to change one way or another, and so yeah. So and that leads into the next one is, what if their life plan changes? Are you okay with that, or are you willing to go with change? Another one is religion. Are they religious? Are you religious? How important is that to you? If it's your main focus in your life and you're marrying someone who does not have that as a main focus in your life, that might become a problem. And if so, how are you going to deal with it? What if you're both non-believers and somebody becomes a believer, or you're both believers and somebody becomes a non-believer? That's a big one. So just be aware that life changes, goals and people change. And so how open are they to change and willingness to accept those changes? That's just another thing to be aware of. Money. The same lady that said secret marriages said their driving record. I'm like, wow, you must have been burned, but she wasn't. So are they a safe driver? That may be something for you to consider and be aware of and plan for. And money, because if you're a safe driver, affects you financially. And you need to be honest with each other about your money and how much intertwined your money becomes after you get married. And is one a spender and one a saver? Because that can be a problem too. So just be aware of their financial and fiscal responsibilities. Yes. And their financial behaviors.
And what are their views on family and having children? Do they want children? What if that changes? Lots of children. He wanted lots. That changed quickly when we discovered that my pregnancies are horrific. Yep. So we only had 5 instead of lots.
Which is a lot.
Which is still a lot. Right. And it was more than I was willing to have. Anyway, that's not what I meant. But it was more like after our first one, I was like, oh, I'm done. And it just wasn't in the plan for us. Right. So it was. Are you flexible with that and willing to concede? And what are your philosophies on disciplining children and raising children? Are you partners in that? Does one have more authority than the other in that area? So you got to be aware. Also, what is secret, keeping secrets is not okay, but keeping things private is okay. And also, another part of the communication is, well, I just lost my thought, so it's obviously not important. If you just go into a relationship aware and prepared and make the discovery a fun thing where you're doing things together and you discover something awesome that is more attractive. Let the positive things influence you.
Yeah.
So that
and trump the differences.
And trump the difficulties. I wouldn't say differences, because no two people are exactly alike.
Sure.
But difficulties. Just focus on those positive things, but don't ignore the red flags. Yep. So go into it with your head and your heart, and you will be just fine.
Agreed.
Be smart. And anyway, so congratulations to our nephew and his future bride. We're so excited for you, and hope this helps other people who are searching. Bye-bye. Oh, just kidding.
Yeah,
I keep doing that. There's a challenge. Okay, so if you are dating someone, pay attention this week when you are together or communicating in some way, and see if you can discover something new, and pay attention to the positive. If you are already together, try to discover something new and figure out if it's something you have to do something about. And if it is, work toward a positive resolution. So anyway, if you have any questions, we've got your back at gmail.com. All right, thanks. Bye-bye.